Hello everybody, and welcome back to Insider's Guide. Today, we're continuing our discussion of Sun Valley's Bald Mountain. If you haven't watched Part A, you'll want to watch that before this, as it'll provide some information crucial to understanding what I say in this episode. So with that, let's continue in Insider's Guide to Ski Resorts, Sun Valley. Just above Seattle Ridge is the Mayday Lift. This offers access to all of this bowl terrain, which is part of what Sun Valley is known for. From the true summit of Bald Mountain, you can traverse along Lookout Lane or Bowl Lane with spectacular panoramic views all around, and then drop into a wide open bowl to catch some lingering powder. If you're lucky, you might even just be able to hit the bowls while the storm is still going on, which will practically guarantee the place to yourself. Lower down, once you hit treeline, you can stay in the bowls for some good mogul skiing, or you can stay high and hit some good tree skiing. Siggy's Bowl, this groomed blue, and Broadway Face, the green, offer the ability to get the same spectacular views without the challenge that the bowls present. Mayday can be a bit of a long ride, but it never has lines. Lookout Lane will bring you back to the main face of the mountain, but it is very flat and drops you off in a really bad spot. As such, I much prefer to head all the way down to Broadway to exit the bowls. You can access Mayday from the Seattle Ridge Lift, or from the summit via Chair 11, or by skiing the Little Easter or Easter Bowls. Chair 11 is known as the Lift to Nowhere by some, but it is quite helpful to access these bowls on the skiers left of Mayday without having to take a lap down Easter or Little Easter first. My personal favorite bowls are Lefty Bowl and Easter Bowl. Easter Bowl is really fun because it is wider than the rest of the bowls, so it allows for long, wide turns across the whole width of the bowl that you can't do in some of the more narrow bowls. When it's cloudy and foggy, do be mindful of where the edge of Bowl Lane is, or you might find yourself getting some mandatory air as you tumble down Mayday Bowl by accident. Definitely didn't happen to me. The sign for Caitlin's Bowl is set pretty far back, so don't go too far on Bowl Lane or you'll lose Caitlin's and accidentally end up on Siggy's. The other lift serving the bowls is Christmas. As discussed in Part B, Christmas doesn't get too bad of lines, and because it's detachable, it's a relatively quick ride. Couple that with the fact that its bowls are blue, and you can see why this terrain is much busier than the bowls served by Mayday. Christmas Ridge is most often groomed of the Christmas runs. It's a super wide cruiser with some awesome views. It gets busy in pulses, but if you hit it when it's empty, it's absolutely incredible. It can get pretty icy pretty quickly if there hasn't been a ton of recent snow, however. Christmas Bowl is also sometimes groomed and is less busy than Christmas Ridge. If Christmas Bowl is groomed, the groomed part can be easy to miss, so as you come down Ridge, look for the double-headed snow gun, number 36. Just past that is where the groomed strip will be. Ridge South Slopes is a nice open ungroomed bowl that isn't as busy as Christmas Ridge and Bowl, but isn't too terribly steep. Wolverton, on the other hand, is pretty steep and has a lot of obstacles. I'm honestly not too sure why it's not a black. All of these runs drop out onto Christmas Lane, which isn't too flat at all. You can also head down Inhibition or Christmas Bowl, from which you can continue into the Cold Springs Pod or cut over to Seattle Ridge. These two typically aren't groomed, but they're not too difficult. Do beware that the summit up here is very large and runs go off all sides, so know that you may be hiking around the summit quite a bit. College, Ridge, and Christmas Ridge are easier to access from 5 and Christmas than from Challenger, Chair 10. Little Easter Bowl, and Chair 11 are difficult to access from all of the lifts. Warm Springs and I-80 are much easier to access from Challenger than from 5 and Christmas. Right off the top are these two major runs. They are College and Ridge. Ridge is a wide blue groomer and is a much easier blue than the Christmas blues. It offers access to one of the few parks on Baldy. After a short little while, it fans out into 4 runs. Of these, Blue Grouse is typically the only one groomed. I really like lapping Ridge to Blue Grouse by taking Roundhouse Lane back to the Christmas lift. Roundhouse Lane from Blue Grouse to the Roundhouse restaurant isn't too bad. Do keep up some speed because the area around the restaurant is very flat and can be difficult to navigate. I do try to avoid the upper part of Roundhouse Lane, as it can be quite flat between College and River Run. Ridge and Blue Grouse are much less busy than you would expect for being such major runs in the middle of the mountain. Upper River Run is a steep black mogul run. Generally, Sun Valley's strength is not moguls. On a lot of runs, especially easier ones like Cutoff, the moguls will be underdeveloped, making it really hard to pick a line. Upper River Run and the whole of Holiday have some better moguls, however. Middle River Run is groomed, and it can oftentimes take the shape of a bit of a natural halfpipe. It is a touch narrow, so during rush hour, the times when everybody is heading down for lunch and at the end of the day, it can be crowded and difficult to pass people on. It's really nice for a vast majority of the day, however. You can access Middle River Run from Cutoff and Blue Grouse by taking a road that isn't marked on this trail map. It cuts across in this direction, and then switches back on Roundhouse Lane right here. You can also cut off on the skiers left of Blue Grouse into some off-piste terrain that will take you over to Middle River Run. As such, Ridge to Blue Grouse to Middle River Run is a nice sequence of blue groomers that can be lapped by Chair 5. Cutoff is a short little mogul blue that isn't too steep. It's a great learning run for moguls. Rock Garden is a short but very steep black mogul run, but it's nice because it's the only of these 4 runs at the bottom of Ridge that will bring you directly back to Christmas. Holiday is a very long black mogul run, but it's not too terribly steep. It is relatively long for a mogul run, so you can jump off onto Roundhouse Lane or Mid-River Lane if you get tired. Upper College is the biggest, baddest, and busiest run in the whole of Sun Valley. For obvious reasons, it's not my favorite. Most times, if there's a run I don't like, I can avoid it one way or another, but if you want to get to Frenchman's and some of the Warm Springs stuff, it requires a lap down College. I do try to take Ridge whenever possible, however. Don't get me wrong, College offers some spectacular views. However, it's super steep for a green, but it's also one of the only major greens on the mountain, so what results is a big crowd of beginners that are in over their head on College, especially in the late season when Seattle Ridge is closed. It's nothing against beginners, but when you have a green run that gets moguls by 11 in the morning due to the sheer volume of usage, I'm typically not the biggest fan. Lower College is not near as bad as Upper, and I'm not sure why. It is quite a nice lap on Frenchman's, which will be discussed in the next episode. It will bring you all the way down to this major juncture, from which most people go right down Sunset Strip. I much prefer Sunset Strip over Roundhouse Lane. Roundhouse Lane is narrower, flatter, and doesn't offer near as good of views as Sunset Strip. I would highly recommend lapping College in whole via Chair 5 and Sunset Strip. Some people just lap the upper via Christmas and Roundhouse Lane, but I much prefer taking the longer lap so that you get Sunset Strip over Roundhouse Lane and get to experience the lower section of College. Sunnyside Bowl is often overlooked. It's a narrower little run, and while I wouldn't really call it a bowl, it does have high sides. So few people use it that you can find some fresh powder a few days after a storm. The trees on the skiers right of Sunnyside Bowl offer an even better chance to find that powder. I really enjoy Sunnyside Bowl, but it requires taking nearly all of Upper College and then a long run down to Chair 5. It's a very long lap for a very short little run, but I find it worth it. That about wraps it up for Part C. Go watch Part D right after this, in which we finish Sun Valley and Bald Mountain. As always, please leave any questions down below. Thank you all for watching. All my love, I'm out.